the more specific you can make your training, the better prepared you're going to be for the event. For this RRtY Pyrenean, day 3 is the hardest, and looking at the hardest day, or sometimes even the day you're most worried about, which might not necessarily be the hardest, but looking for John, it's both. It's the hardest day and it's the day that he's sort of most worried about. Can give you a lot of insight into the kind of training that you can develop to prepare yourself for that big challenge, whether that's a one-day challenge or a multi-day challenge. Day 3 has the most amount of climb, 15,950 feet of climb throughout the day. That's 4,868 meters, and it's also a long day. It's nearly 92 miles, which is about 148 kilometers. To be able to get to that day feeling confident and ready to do it, and then recover from it, is going to be key to John's ability to complete the whole RRtY Pyrenean. One of the biggest sections of that day is this Tour Malais, which lots of cyclists will know. It's a big climb, 1,404 meters in 19 kilometers. We are lucky enough to have similar climbs around here, and with the weather as it is, we're actually able to do those climbs even now, even this early in the year, without too much hardship. So what John did for his ride on Saturday is he had a little climb up the Col de Yossa. One of the nice things about training peaks is you can also highlight specific sections of a workout and analyse the data. So we can look and project about how John might perform if he were to go up something similar to Tour Malais, using the data from his climb on Saturday. It's not a perfect match, but you know, it's good enough. And we can see that John climbed for about 13 miles, or just nearly 13 and a half miles, so 21k, a bit longer. He climbed 3,556 feet, just a bit less, 1,083 meters. It's not quite as steep overall as the Tour Malais, but it's probably good enough. It's good enough for training. And of course, this is right on our doorstep, so John can literally get on his bike and go up to Col de Yossa, and we can do that frequently as we need to do, so we can see how he's gaining fitness in his endurance zone by doing that climb, and that'll give us a good indication of how he might do the Tour Malais. And it's also preparing him. It's preparing him for that kind of climb. For any event, it's always a good idea, as I've said, to look at the course and to think about the areas where you feel you'll be strong and the areas where you know you're going to be a bit weaker. And then you can focus on the weaker areas to get those up and just keep the stronger areas chugging along, so that overall you're preparing your body to meet the demands of the course that you want to do.
These long climbs are more of a mental thing than a physical thing if you've got the right gear in. You can't stop pedalling, so it's just a case of keeping the legs moving and dealing with any discomfort that you might have.
The other thing that John noted, which again is a really good idea, is to add, when he does this kind of workout up to the Col de Yossa, when he gets back down, to just start climbing again a bit. It doesn't even have to be very much, just a little bit, because ultimately that day 3, it's not one climb, it's 3 climbs. So he's going to have to get used to a long climb, long descent, and then get his climbing legs back and climb again. Ideally, what we'll also do at some point before he does the actual event is do some of the course. And given that this is the hardest day, given it's the one that's occupying his mind quite a lot, I think doing this day would be a really good call, so that he really gets a feel for doing it. And having done a route, it just gives you so much more confidence when you come to it the second time, even if it's a hard route. Somehow the brain is able to quantify it a bit better, and you've just got the confidence of knowing, I have done this, and now I can do it. So that's another thing to consider if you're planning a long event. It's not always possible, but if you can, you know, if you are in the area or you are on parts of the route, or you can travel to parts of the route to do them, I would definitely recommend doing that to anybody who's planning an event.